Okay, so welcome to the Google Classroom teacher training. This video is going to be a long video, but it's going to cover everything you need to know about Google Classroom to prepare you for this school year. Because Google Classroom is always evolving and things are always changing, so it always has to be updated. And here's a quick look at all the things that's going to be covered. And this is 20 different tasks we're going to go through, and then we're going to go through another 20. And if you ever want to go back and learn them, you can go to the video and just go to, like, let's say 15, 18, let's say you want to know how to, integrate a form, give feedback, etc. and so forth. You can always go back. So what we're going to do is start with the first one, which is one of the most important steps, is to choose your role. So when you first start in Google Classroom, they're going to ask you to choose your role, and you can either choose a teacher or a student, and I'm going to show you what it looks like now. And now here we are, and this is my first time entering Google Classroom. So it'll have your email, your name. I just put a generic one, Luke Skywalker, and I'm going to put continue. So this is the first time you're ever going to enter a Google Classroom. And then you have an option to pick your role either as a student or a teacher. Now you have to be very careful, because if you pick the wrong role, you got to go to your domain administrator and talk to your school administrator, and then they got to do all work and things like that. So since this is teacher training, you're going to want to click teacher. Okay? So I'm going to click it here. And now you're set as a teacher. Okay? So make sure you click the right role. Alright, so we just did choose role, and now we're going to learn how to create a Google Classroom, create a class. So to create a Google Classroom, you're going to have to first enter Google Classroom and make sure you're using this one right here that says classroom.google.com. You don't want to hit, you see this is an ad, you don't want to hit the ads and things like that. Stay away from that. So we're going to click on Google Classroom. And then if you want to create a class, you're just going to go to this little plus icon right up here, and it says create or join. So we're going to click this plus icon, and then we're going to go to create a class. So I went to plus create a class, and then you're going to name your class. Let's call it biology section. Then you can enter section. Let's go 07. Subject. Now as you type, you actually have an option here to choose a different subject here, but I'll just type in science. And then you pick the room number. Let's say 30. We'll do my room number, 316. And then you want to click create. And here we are. Okay, so this is our Google Classroom. We've just created it. Biology 07. This is our class code, which I'm going to explore a little bit later. Our meet link I'll get into, but here you have it. Okay, and then we'll get into adding people and things like that. So all right. So next up, here we are with a 3, which is joining a class, and this is also add students. And I'm going to change it here to students joining a class, or just join a class. So this is kind of how you add students and how students can join the classroom. So I'm going to go back to this Google Classroom. And here we are on the class card page. Each of these are called class cards. Okay. So we just created this bio class, and we're going to want to add students. So one way to do it is you can go to people. And then you see where it says students. If you want to add some students, you can click invite students, type in the student's name. Let's go with student 4. So as soon as you start typing their name, it'll come up. You want to click invite. Now listen, if you're using a G Suite for Education domain, you're only going to be able to invite students or individuals within the same G Suite domain. So it won't let you invite outside people from outside of the domain, unless your domain administrator allows it. So I'm going to click invite. We're inviting, and now student 4 has been invited. And what this student gets is now an email. So I'm going to show you what that email looks like for student 4. So here we are in student 4's email account. See, it says student 4, and they were just invited to the class we created, Biology 07. So here's what the email looks like. I'm just going to click on this email so you can see from the student's end. And here's what it says. Okay. Frank Avella has invited you to the class. Do you want to join? Okay, and you would just click. They can just click join here. Also, if you take a look at this student's Google Classroom page, take a look here. So now we're in student 4's Google Classroom page. They also have a little. Here's the classroom, and they have a little thing to join. They can click join, or they can click decline. Okay, so let's just pick decline for now. So I'm declining. But again, they could have joined by pressing that. So that's one way to get students to join a class. Now the best way to do it is actually through the class code. So the class code is right here. If you just give the students this class code, you can email it to them. You can write it on the board when they come into your room. The first day of school, write this on the board in big whiteboard marker so that they could see. And they can use this to join. So I'm going to copy this, right click, copy, and now I'm going to join using the class code as a student. So here I am again as a student. Okay, I'm student 4, and if I want to join using the class code, I'm going to go to this little plus right here for join class. And then I could enter in the class code. So I'm going to right click, paste, or Ctrl V. And now I'm joining using this class code. Okay, I'm joining using this code right here. So all the student does is go to add, join class, enter the code, and then click join. And now the student is in the classroom. And as a teacher, you can double check. You go to people. Let's refresh the page. And now you see student 4 has joined the classroom. Alright, so now we're on to 4. Add a profile photo. So I'm going to go to the classroom here. Alright, so here I am again in the classroom card page. And we want to add a profile picture. So if you want to add a profile picture, you're going to go to this top left hand corner with those 3 little lines. You're going to go down to settings, and then you can add a change the profile picture. Now if you don't have a profile picture, they're just going to use this little default one here. So my name is Frank Avella, so they put the little F for Frank. But you can add your own picture here, and if you change this picture up here, it'll reflect itself in Google Classroom. But sometimes you want to have a different classroom profile picture. Like if you're a science teacher, maybe you want to have like a certain science thing there. Or an English teacher, maybe you want to have a great writer. Whatever. So you can do change, and then you can go to upload photos, right? So here I am. I'm going to select one from my computer. So I went to, selected one from my computer. If you hear any noise in the background, that's my daughter. She's 1.5. She's been pretty good so far. And I'll go to desktop, and you can choose a photo from here. We're doing a Star Wars theme today, and I have a Star Wars photo here that I love. You got Yoda. If you would want something like this, you put whatever photo you want, something interesting. You would do a set as profile photo, but I'm not going to use this one here. So I'm going to X out. Okay, next up is to change or edit to work with your class theme. So we're going to go back to the Google Classrooms. We just created this biology one. And if you want to, change your class theme, this is your theme right here, basically. Okay. If you see here, it sees Google recognizes that you use the word biology, so they give you a science background one already. However, you can change it and do, they have other ones for you here. you can change it to a sports one, an art one. Obviously, it's science, so they already give us some, but it doesn't have to be this one here. You know, you could maybe click this one, select theme, and it's going to change it for them. You could upload your own photo here, like we said from before, and select one from your desktop. You know, it's up to you. You would select your photo. Something else real quick, if you see this little arrow here and you click down, it's just going to give you some more details about the classroom. Okay, what you have. So it's science in room 316. Okay, next up is an important one, notifications. So let's say you want to control your notifications. What type of emails are you getting? Because you can wind up getting a lot of emails. It could be a big headache. So I'm going to go to our class cards page. This is where we'll start off. And if you want to adjust notifications, you're going to go to the settings, which is found by clicking the three little lines. Go to settings, and then here's your notifications. So first off, do you want to receive email notifications? So if I turn this off, all these things are going to disappear. So they're all gone. But if you do want to get email notifications, you can get specific here. So there's a lot of different ones. You want to allow students to comment on your posts, comments that mention you, private comments, late submissions, resubmissions, invitations, schedule posts. That's all up to you. But what I do want to show you is that you can adjust notifications for different classrooms by clicking here on class notifications. I'm going to click this, and then I can turn it on for specific classrooms. Like, do I want to have the demo class on, the demo class off, the bio class, do I want that on, do I want that off? Alright, so next up on the list is to unenroll from a class, or just leave a classroom. As a student, so if a student wants to unenroll from a class or something like that, they can simply click on the card that they want to leave and click unenroll. Unenroll. Now, as a teacher, you can also choose to leave a classroom if you're a co-teacher. For example, let's take a look at this classroom right here. When you go to people, I'm signed in as student 4. I'm signed in, but I'm also a co-teacher at this point. Now, as a co-teacher, you can also leave the class as a co-teacher. I'll simply go here to these three little dots. I'll go to leave class, and this is a class where I'm a co-teacher, and I won't be able to open this class unless I'm invited again. So I'm not going to have access to anything if I leave. So I'm going to leave this class. And now you can see it's the card is gone. It's not here anymore. Okay, next up, email your students. So you can directly email your students. So we'll pick our class here. And if you want to email your students, you can do it very quickly by going to people. And then you can find your students down here, right? So you got student 4, student 1, student 3, student 2. And let's say I want to email student 4. I'm just going to click on this three little dots icon, email students, and it's going to take me right to my Gmail. And what's going to happen is you're going to have an email already set up with the student's email, already there for you. So it's a much quicker way to email a student. And here's what it looks like. Student 4, subject, I'll put missing work, and then just press send. Okay, next up is an important one. Use Google Meet, right? So in Google Classroom, there's a Google Meet integration. So let's go to our class card page. And for example here, if you take a look at, here's one class that I have. There's a Google Meet link that you can find right on the theme page, right on the stream, right up top. And students can click on this and they can get into Google Meet at any time. That same link is found right here, okay? And they can click on this to get there, okay? However, at this point, Google Meet has been enabled. So if you don't enable the Google Meet link, you're not going to see this. So let's go to the new class we created, this biology class here. And we're going to have to create a meet link, right? Because look here, it says generate meet link. We don't have it. And you can click on this, or you can go to settings. So to get to settings, you're going to click on this little gear icon on the top, and you can scroll down and click where it says generate meet link. So I'm going to click this here, and as soon as I click this, it's going to create a meet link for me. So boom, it's created a meet link. And now if you click this little arrow, you can copy it. So I'm going to click copy, and then I can share that with someone. Something else that's also important here is you see visible to students. Right now it says visible to students, meaning they'll be able to see it on that stream page. So I'm going to click save. So we've generated our meet link, and look, here it is. Okay, and if you go to Classwork, here it is. Okay, and I can just in a Google just copy and paste that link, enter, and it should open up. And here you have it. Okay, here's our meet link page, and I'm just gonna edit that before all this camera starts and stuff. I'm just gonna close it up real quick. So again, here it is, so you can see it. But you don't want to have this. You don't want to have this thing visible to students all the time, because then they can go on when you're not there and stuff like that. So what I suggest you do is you go down here, and you see where it says visible to students. Click this little button right here, and now it's not visible to students. So click save, and you see this little eye. So it lets you know that students can't see it. It says not visible to students. Okay. And another thing about this generating meet link, after you have a Google Meet, you should always go back and you should reset your link, because you don't want students going on and they can copy this link and then they could go on when you're not there and do all sorts of stupid, dumb, disgusting things they could do when you're not there. So you want to go and you want to press reset that, and it's automatically saved here. So that's what I recommend doing. Okay, next up, number 10 is to archive a class. Okay, so sometimes, the school year's over. We're going to go to our classes page here. And, this thing can fill up. You can wind up having a lot of cards if you teach a lot of different classes like me. I'm going to go to my other account, my classroom account. And I teach I've got all these different subjects I'm teaching here. Pre-algebra, foundations, geometry, extended school year, home instruction, curriculum. So there's a lot of them. But you can archive a class easily by just going to these three little dots here. Click that, and then just go to archive. And what it does is, and this is important too, it's going to be, when you archive a class, it's not really gone. It just gets moved into your archived folder. So it won't be here on the class cards homepage. All right, and the files are still going to be in Google Drive too. So archive, it just kind of cleans it up. It's like putting it. It's not really putting it in the trash, because when you put things in the trash, they get deleted after 30 days. It just gets archived, which is like it puts it like in a save folder. And if you want to see the archived classes, look, you can go all the way down. So again, I went up here for archived classes. I went all the way down to the bottom, and I could click on archived classes, and then you'll see I'll have a lot of them. You can see the lines through, letting you know they've been archived, but like this is just through the years. A lot of them add up. All right, so we made it through the first 10. Next up, let's take a look at your Google Classroom calendars. Okay, so if you want to look at your classroom calendars, okay, what you can do is you can go to these three little lines at the top left, and you can go to calendar. Okay, so right now it has July 28th to July 4th, so not much is going on now, right? So during this time, no work is assigned. But if I assigned work, you'll be able to see it. I'm going to go to a different class real quick and show you. You can also filter different classes. Take a look here. So these are all my classes that are not archived. And you can pick a class, and it'll just bring up that calendar. Or you can pick up a class here and just bring up that calendar. And if you scroll, it's going to show you only upcoming assignments right now. So these are some questions here. Why are plants green? Da da da. Here's an upcoming assignment, cell biology. So this is just an example where you could see some upcoming class assignments here. Alright, so next up we're going to add materials, classrooms. And to add materials, it's like adding a resource. What you're going to do is go to Classwork, and then you're going to click Create, and then you're going to go down to Material. Okay. So when I say add a resource or add a material, this is not an assignment. So for example here, we'll say photosynthesis resource, and maybe you just want to send them an article or a video. So please view this video in preparation. So I've created a title, a little description here. Now I have to add the resource. So to add the resource, I'm going to go to Add. You can create a resource right here if you like, a drawing, a form, a sheet. But usually you'll just add one. And you have your choice to choose from a file in Google Drive. You can, provide a link, a file from your computer, or a YouTube video. I'll go with just a YouTube video for now. So I'm clicking on YouTube. Let's do photosynthesis. Overview. It's not spelled right, but whatever. And I'll just click, I'll go with like the Khan Academy one. Add. And now here's a resource, right? It says, please view this video in preparation. I mean, you could also add stuff from your Google Drive. I'm going to go to Google Drive. And, here, I mean, maybe you'll add biology essay. Or something like that. Now, if you take a look over here, there's actually no due date or assignment date, because this isn't an assignment. It's just a resource. So this is meant for students to view at any time they want. It's like available for them just for their viewing. So you can share this with just one class, or you can share with more than one class. I'll do these two, let's say. And then you can choose a topic if you like. We'll just do biology. And then you can post it immediately, or you can save it. There is no schedule because this isn't really an assignment. So we'll just post it immediately. A save to draft means maybe you want to save it because there's more you want to add to it and you don't know yet. So I'm going to go to post. It says material has been created. And it's under the biology section because we created a topic. It's under the biology topic. And take a look here. It has this little icon which means material. It looks like a little column with a bookmark up here. So this little icon means material. This means like assignment. That means question. All right, next up, copy a classroom. So we're going to copy a Google Classroom and everything in it. So to copy a class, here I am at the Google Classroom main page with the different class cards. And I've already kind of created a copy here. But let's create a copy, let's say, of algebra. Okay, so to create a copy, I don't know if you can see it, but there's three little dots here. You're going to click on that, and you're just going to go to copy. And when you click on it, when you create a new class with copy topics, and rosters and announcements won't be copied, but all your assignments and your materials and everything like that. So obviously the students ain't going to be saved in the announcements because the announcements are made for like daily stuff like that. But here's your new class, right? So maybe you want to call it in algebra, and you want to change the year, or you want to say algebra 2021 or something. And here's your copied class. It should be, it should have the same amount of assignments or whatever, the same classwork. Okay, next up, we're going to explore the Google Drive folders. Now, each specific classroom has a folder creates a folder in your Google Drive where you can access all the assignments and files and things like that. And they actually do a very good job of keeping it organized. So we'll take a look. So if you want to access the folder, you can just go right here on the class card and just say open folder for demo 1 here. So this is the demo class, right? And I could just go here, open folder, and that's what I'm going to do. And you can see it on all of them. Open folder for algebra, open folder. So I'll click this one. And now notice it's taking me to Google Drive. Okay, here I am in Google Drive. And this demo 1 class is a subfolder of Classroom. Okay, which is a subfolder of Drive. Okay, so it creates a Classroom folder for you. So just to get there, if you're looking, if you enter Drive first, you want to go to Classroom. And then here's the different Google Classrooms that I've created, right? I just created this algebra one, the biology one, but then you pick your class. You probably should color code these. And I'll select demo 1. And look how organized this is. Okay. It's very organized. You can click and find student assignments and student works. We'll click on Meiosis paper. And here you have student 4 has turned it in. Alright, so next up is to edit class details. Okay, you can actually go in and change those class details after you first created them. So let's take a look at our class cards here. So here I have algebra and I have the number 1 as like my section and things like that. So you can change your class details. So let's go here to algebra. And if I want to change the class details, and again, you can find them right here, the room, maybe you want to change the room or the subject or something, you just go up to settings, and here are your class details. So I have algebra, I have section 1, maybe I meant to say section 3, you go back and change it. Or maybe your room moves, right? So you want to put, it's a virtual classroom. You can add a little description of your course. This course will cover, math topics, whatever, etc. And then that's how you edit your class details. And then now notice I added a little description. Now you can have it here. Maybe you want to make it detailed, make your classroom, you want to go over your curriculum and things like that. Don't write too much. Don't put too much work into it, but still. Okay, next up is to use the class code. Okay, use the class or class code use, mainly to display the class code. So I'm going to go back here, and here we are in the algebra class. And when students come into the classroom, you can easily display the class code by clicking this little icon. If you see it right here, it's like a little box to expand it. And you can, when a new student comes in, open it up, put this on the projector or the smartboard, and then let them enter it into their cell phones, and then they can easily join the classroom. So you can display the class code there. And you can also find the class code in settings right here again, and you can display it. Okay, you can copy the code, you can reset it. Okay, because maybe you have somebody that gets into that classroom from another student might want to use that code and join your classroom. Like I've had students that I had them 1 year in math, and then they get my code and they want to join in and be funny about it and get into the classroom and write stuff or whatever. So, you might want to reset the code or even disable it. Like if you have, enough people there, disable the code. Code has been disabled. And go right back to it, enable it, and now it's a different code. And then, so working with this class code, it does come in handy at times. Okay, reorder the class cards. Okay. All right, so now we're going to reorder the class cards. This is useful if you have like a bunch of cards here. So for example, like look at the home instruction class. I can take this and I'm dragging it. So I'm clicking down on it hard and I'm just pulling it up. and I can move this all the way to the front. And now it's over here, and I could put it up here. Then I have ESY summer here, or I could take geometry and put it here. This class is old for me, so I probably should archive it anyway. But next up is to add a co-teacher or remove a co-teacher. So let's go to a classroom. Into the classroom, and you're going to go to people. And here I am as a teacher. And if you want to add a co-teacher, I can just go here like this. And that said invite teachers. Okay, so this little person with the plus, that always means invite. And then you can add someone. And I have sample students here. So let's just use a student, for example, as a sample. I'll select student 1. And obviously you would only invite a teacher, but I'm going to click invite. And now you can see an invitation was sent. And you can invite as many co-teachers as you want. We'll invite somebody else, student 4, let's say. Okay, so sometimes you might want to invite a co-teacher, and you want to invite your department chair. So let's see what it looks like to get an invitation. Okay. So I sent an invitation to student 4, and here is student 4's email. And so I sent an invitation to this student, and here it says right here, invitation to co-teach. So I'm going to click on that, and the student can simply click here to join. And if you go to the student's classroom page, the invitation to join as a co-teacher is going to be right here as well, right? So they can accept or decline. The card will pop up, and they can easily press accept, or they can accept via email. So let's just accept this way. So now I've invited a co-teacher. And I've added a co-teacher. And if I go back to the classroom here, let's refresh this page. Now you'll see that student 4 is a co-teacher. Now I said you're going to add and remove teachers, right? So let's say this teacher's a headache, it's a problem, or whatever. They leave. You want to get rid of them. You're going to go to these 3 little dots here, and you're going to put remove. And this teacher won't be able to open up the class. So if you remove them, they won't have access to the class anymore. So I'm going to click remove. And here I am at the student as a co-teacher. I'm going to refresh the page, right? So we just removed this teacher, and we're going to refresh the page, and let's see what happens. It says you're no longer in this class because they've been removed. So now let's say you want to remove a student. Okay, you want to remove a student from your class. Alright, so if you want to remove a student, you're going to first go to people, right here. And then you're going to find the student you want to remove. So in this class there's only one, but you should have a whole bunch. And to remove that student, you're going to click on this little box. And once you click on the box, you can go to actions. And then you would just go to remove. And it's going to ask you if you're sure to remove this student. And, you make the decision, yes. Also, real quick, you can remove several students at one time by clicking, multiple boxes. So let's go to remove. And the student has been removed, as you can see. All right, so next up, we're going to transfer ownership of your Google Classroom to another teacher. And you can only transfer ownership to a co-teacher. You can't transfer it to somebody registered as a student. Okay, so you would already have to have a co-teacher, but we did that number 18. And I know this looks like number 20, like we're almost done, but listen, Google Classroom's a lot of work. There's a lot to learn. They've added so many new features. I want to show you. We got a lot more to go. Okay, but when you're finished with this, when you're finished with this training, you're gonna know everything there is about Google Classroom. That's the good news. And I'm gonna enter the class. So here I am in the classroom, and and I want to transfer ownership. So I have to go to people, and then this person here is a co-teacher. So if I want to make them the owner, and I'm not in charge because I first created this class, so I'm the owner, so I can invite and things like that. This person, so again, right, when I transfer ownership to this person, they'll be able to, remove, kick people out, add co-teachers. So to make them an owner, I'm going to click on these three dots, and I'm just going to go make class owner. And it'll let you know, transfer ownership. So I'm going to remain the owner until the invitation is accepted. If they accept the invitation, then the new owner will gain control of the class and can delete the whole class. So as an owner, somebody can delete the whole classroom. All right, so this is really like part one. And, that's like the basic Google Classroom training. That's like basic intermediate. What I'm going to do next, all this stuff here, you might have known some of it. But over here is like a little bit more of the advanced Google Classroom training. We get into little details here. Some of the newer stuff, rubrics, originality reports, give feedback on work. So I want you to hang tight with me. So now we're going to go here, and we're going to take a look at student permissions. So next we're going to look at adjusting student permissions. Okay, so this is like, do you give them permission to post and things like that. Alright, so here we are in this biology class that we created earlier. And if you want to, control and adjust student permissions, you're going to go first to settings. So I'm in settings, and while I'm in settings, you're going to scroll down, and you see where it says the stream. Okay. So right now I have it that students can post and comment, which can be a headache because, then if you allow them to post, they can write things at any time. They can write inappropriate things. Sometimes you can have students can only comment, but they can comment and say, inappropriate things as well. And here you have only teachers can post and comment. That's the one I like. It's up to you. If you feel your class is mature enough, then give them students can post, but and comment. I go with this one. I recommend this one right here. Only teachers can post and comment because I don't want them writing all ridiculous nonsense. So I'm just gonna put that, and then you're gonna go to save. Okay. Now I want to show you real quick a class where students, if students can comment is enabled, what they can do. So here's a student class, and here students are allowed to comment. So like if you take a look, like here's a post. Okay. A student just commented a question, when is the next quiz, which is a good one. But a student can comment whenever they feel like. So if you have comments on, they can write something like, oh, I'm hungry. And just like that, a student has commented. And then they could write good things too, right? Like, when is the next quiz? They can comment on assignments here. So here's a post I have about a playlist, and a student can just come here and they could write their own class comment. Oh, I enjoyed the video, and then they would just click here to post. Next is to post an announcement as a teacher. All right, so now let's say, so here we are, we just created our biology class, and let's say you want to post something, you want to post your first announcement. You're just going to go and click right here where it says share something with class. So I'm going to click it, and then you can type in your announcement. Usually just a welcome. Hello and welcome to biology. And when you post an announcement, you also can add things, right? You can add, for example, something from a Google Drive, a link, okay? If it's your first day, you might want to add a class syllabus, a YouTube video, a file. So let's say you want to do a file or something like that. You click File. So you can add a YouTube video here, but remember, this is just an announcement. You're going to use the stream for announcements, okay? And I want to say that again, right? We're in the stream, okay? Not classwork, not people, not grades. We're in the stream when we post. And you can choose, you can actually post an announcement to different classes right now. So right now I have biology. If you click right here, you can choose, do you want to do to 2 classes, 3 classes, maybe you want to stick with just a 1 class. You'll probably stay with all students. And, before you finish here, again, this is an announcement, but before you post, you actually have options over here where you can schedule it for later or save it as a draft, right? So let's say I want to schedule it for later. I'm going to click schedule. And I want this announcement to post at, let's say, July 7th at 8 a.m. And I'm going to click schedule. And now it's scheduled. And I'm going to go back to it. Okay, let's say hello. And maybe, you know what? I want to take the schedule off now. I can click here. And now I can go back and just post it. Okay. If I post it, the students will see it immediately. So let's go to post. And here it is. Hello and welcome to biology. You can also, like I said, save an announcement. Welcome to day 2. Okay, maybe you want to schedule it, or you don't want to know. You don't know when you want to schedule it. You just go to save draft. And now this thing is saved. It's part of your saved announcements up here, in the stream. So I just want to say one more time. You're going to do your posting of announcements should be in the stream. Okay, so now you can edit in this stream. Okay, so you can go back and make changes because maybe you made some mistakes and stuff. So here I am now in the stream, and let's say I want to make some edits. For example, let's say I want to delete. Let's say I want to delete something. I can go down, and here it says hello and welcome to the classroom. Hello and welcome to the classroom. So to edit in the stream, you're going to pick a post, and then you're going to go right here to these 3 little dots, and I can open it up and edit it, and now I can change what I wrote. So hello, welcome to the classroom, and I could say don't forget to check the syllabus. Save. And if you take a look now, look, it's been changed. It's been edited. Now, also when I talk about editing in the classroom, again, you're going to hit this 3 little icon here. You can edit, but you can also, there's other things you can do here. You can move this thing all the way to the top. I'm going to click move to the top and take a look. I mean, this post now is I edited it and then I brought it back to the top again so everybody could see it. I can also, and I also have the ability to delete a post if I want. So here's another one. It says hello and welcome to demo class. I can click the 3 little dots and I can click delete, and it's been deleted. Yeah, now you see it's been deleted now. Now, something really cool that you can do here is that you can actually reuse a post. So let's say I'm going to post something, or I want to post like a hello, or I just want to post make sure you guys are doing your work. I don't have to type it in 5 different classes. I just want to maybe reuse it from a different class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little double arrow thing here. It says reuse post. I'm going to click that. And then it says select a post. So right now I'm in the demo 1 class. So these are some of my old posts. I can click it and use it, or I could even go back. I went back up here and I can choose from different classes. So maybe in my I don't know, let's say my, what are we in, demo, the biology class, I can pick a post here and use it. Hello and welcome to biology. And here, let's just do this one here, and we'll do reuse just to see what it looks like. So I select the post, go to reuse. Here it is. Okay, I'm reusing it. So I can immediately post it. I can schedule it, or save it as a draft. Let's just go post. And boom, there it is. So, and if you want to reuse it, you just go up here. And it's actually, if you go to Classroom and you go to Create, okay, you can actually reuse, a post up here. So I'm going to reuse here, like, I'm reusing an assignment post maybe. So let's go to demo one. Like, take a look here. I can reuse a biology paper or a history assessment. Let's just do history assessment reuse. So I selected the history assessment, and here it is. So I've got the assignment, and I can change it and then assign. But we're going to get into creating assignments next. So that was reuse a post. Now let's take a look at mute and unmute students, which comes in handy because they can, maybe it's just one student that's constantly causing problems in your classroom, and you just want to mute that student and let everybody else post and comment, because maybe the majority of the class is fine with the exception of 2 or 3 students. So if you just mute those students, then you can foster much better discussions and things like that. So let's go at mute and unmute students. So here I am in the stream, and I want to mute and unmute students. So one way to mute a student is to go to people. Okay. Select that student. So let's say student 3 is the troublemaker. And then you want to click this little box. And then again, you want to go to actions. And from here, you just click mute. And it lets you know, right? Muted students can still submit their work. Other students won't see it. They can reply to classmates. They can't reply to classmates' works, right? Because that's when the problems come, the stuff they say, and they can't comment or post. But they could turn in work. So they could turn in work, but they can't really say anything and cause any problems. So let's go to mute. And now you could see here this little, it looks like a little microphone, I guess, and has a line through it. So this student's muted, okay? And you can unmute that student by doing the same method, right? You're going to click on the box, go to actions, and for this student, you're going to go unmute. And now they can submit their works, but they can reply and post and comment. And there it's gone. And if you actually go to the stream, you can actually do it in the stream as well. Let me go to the stream here. It's another way to mute somebody. Like here, student 4. I can mute this person directly just by clicking the 3 little dots and just go mute student. Okay, and then it'll give you the heads up again, and it asks me, do I want to delete this comment while I mute them? Most of the time, yeah, because you see a stupid comment, and then you want to select, get rid of that comment and mute them. So you would do this, and now student 4 is muted. You can go back and maybe after some time you're going to unmute them and let them come back to the conversation. Let him or her come back to the conversation. All right, so next is delete and reply comments and reply to comments. So here I am in the stream, and I've got some comments here. And if I want to delete a comment, like this student here just says, "Oh, I'm hungry," just to throw something off. You can just quickly delete that assignment by going to the 3 little bars, the 3 little dots, and clicking delete. Now take a look. And you can reply to comments like here. Like I said, please send in your field trip forms. And the student goes, when does it have to be in by? So if you want to reply to this comment, okay, so here's student 4. I'm going to click reply to this comment, okay, which is different than adding a class comment, because if I'm replying to student 4, I want to hit this little arrow right here because it's going to make it directly to student 4, okay? And now it has the little plus sign, which means this comment is directed towards student 4. And I'll say, you can have an extra day. Because you were absent, or whatever, right? And then when you want to reply, you're going to click this here. So that's me replying to student 4. And I could just add a comment to the post that's actually not a reply directed at somebody by just clicking at class comment. The field trip will be fun. Now this is a comment, but it's not directed at anybody, so it's a little different. Alright, so next up is an important one. Create an assignment. Okay, create assignments. So I'm going to go to the Google Classroom here. Let's go to the bio class. And to create an assignment, you want to go to Classwork. Okay. And then from Classwork, you want to go to Create. And then remember, you can create a topic. We'll get into these later. But here, you're going to just create assignment right in the top, right? So create assignment. And then you're going to title your assignment. Let's say Meiosis essay. Okay. Please. Next, you'll put your instructions. Please. All right. And essay, writing, or whatever, appropriate writing, and punctuation. Okay. So you start with your title, and you go with your instructions, and you're going to want to either, you can, create your, you can create the document yourself here, if it's one of the Google documents like the docs or slides or whatever, but you're probably going to already have it. So, you're going to have the essay assignment paper, right, that you want them to do electronically, and you're going to go to add. Now, if it's like a Word document or something like that, you're going to want to go to File, and you're going to want to get it from your computer, your desktop, right? So you would go to Select Files from your device, and then from there, you might see, I don't know, an assignment, right? So we said mitosis, but let's just for now use, here's a PDF assignment, radians and degrees and things like that. So I just click that and press upload, and I'm going to go to upload. This is just an example. I know it's not, science, but let's just say, right? So this is a PDF file. Now, after you upload your file, right, and here's a PDF, you can choose, do you want students to be able to view the file? Can they edit the file, or do you want to make a copy for each student? The best one here to pick is to make a copy for each student, okay? Because some of them, sometimes the students, they won't make a copy themselves, or they won't know how. You don't want to, have them edit the file, because then they can make changes, but I would go and make a copy for each student, and it'll be electronically. So this is just a PDF, but you could also add, for example, files from your Google Drive. You can add a link. So let me add a Google Drive file so you can see. So now I'm doing a file from my Google Drive, and we said mitosis paper. I think I have one here or something. Let's just do, mitosis edit. Let's do biology essay, right? So I double click it. And again, do I want students to file, view? Let's just go with make a copy for each student. Okay. And you can add links. Let's say you want to find a link, mitosis. You can add a link to a website. So I'm going to find a useful website here. Phases of Mitosis Khan Academy. I'm going to do copy link address. And go back to my classwork. So I copied that link address. I'm going to go to add link, and I'm going to paste, add that link, and here you have it here. So again, we're creating an assignment, but there's a lot of different things you can add. You can even add a YouTube video. All right, go to YouTube, mitosis, enter mitosis, select the video, go to add. Okay, and you don't have to make copies because this is just a link. Anybody can see it and anybody can watch the video. Now, here's where it gets important, right? So you can, if you have a bunch of different bio classes, you might want to select this bio class and another bio class. For example, if this was an algebra one, maybe I select here and here, and I go, okay, I want to share this with my algebra classes, but not my, I want to share with all my algebra classes. The class you're in is always going to be checked. So you can select if you want different classes, and you can even choose the students. Okay, this is where differentiation comes in. Now I don't have students added here, so you can't really see. I'm going to show you another class. So if you look at the classwork here, and let's say the history assessment, we're going to edit it. You can filter from students just the same, right? So I'm going to go here, and it has all students checked, but I could take a student off and just do student 2 and 4. Or maybe you have all students, or you take, just one student, and you have this assignment specifically for this student. So that's really how you differentiate here. With the bio class, it has all students because I haven't added anybody yet. All right, so points of an assignment. We're going to get into this later. with setting up grade books and things like that. But for now, we'll just leave 100. But you might want to have at a 10 or something. Pick a due date. You just click. I just click this little arrow in the box. Clicked due date. You click your date. Let's say July 9th. Take a time. Say the end of the day. There's your time, and you want to create a topic, right? Maybe you want to create, or you want to add it to an existing topic, right? The topic's biology, but let's create mitosis. So now, we'll create mitosis as a topic. Rubric and originality reports I will get to later on. Those will be like the last two that we do here. So here you have your assignment. It's almost done. You have a title, an essay. You can add, a file from your computer, a Google Drive file, a link, a video. I would say make a copy for each student. Do you want it for one class, a couple classes, all students? You can differentiate. And before you finish, you're going to go to assign. I wouldn't just press assign yet, because you can schedule it, you can save it as a draft, or you can get rid of it and discard it. So you can pick any one you want. Assign, schedule. We've seen schedule before, but let's just do assign for now. So I'm going to assign it, and here you go. So it's assigned. I'll show you from the, and now I'm going to show you from the classroom end what it looks like for a student to see an assignment. So here's what it looks like from a student's perspective. So the student goes to their classwork, and there's a lot of different ways they can see assignments. They can see them on the students can see upcoming assignments right here on the stream and click on it, or they can go to classwork. So here's a biology essay, let's just say, similar to the one I have with a rubric. So the student will click view assignment. And again, I'm just giving you the student's perspective here. And in this particular one, there is a rubric. It says write an essay to the following assignment. So it says bio essay for the student. Write an essay to the following assignment. And here the student can work on the assignment, or they can create a new one. The student has an option to do a private comment to the teacher and say, I need help. Or they can ask a comment to the whole class, like, you didn't put a due date, and click here. And then they could send a private comment, click here. And then the student can, work on their assignment here by clicking on the assignment. What are the ways that global warming is affecting society? The student will write their answers. It is harmful. And this is a copy for student 4, right? So it says student 4 bio essay, right? So in this example, the student clicked create a copy, and the student gets their own copy. And they have an option to turn it in directly right here by pressing turn in. And what that's going to do is take them back to the classroom page. And if the student now we're back here, and if the student had already worked on it here, they could also just click turn in right below, as I'm doing, right? So it says one attachment will be submitted. So let's click turn in. So this is student 4. Just a heads up, turning in the assignment. So the assignment has been turned in. Now, if you take a look, it's called bio essay. Now let's take a look from the teacher's perspective about this assignment. As a teacher, so if as a teacher you want to see the work that's been completed, you can go to classwork. And then I believe it was bio essay. I'll just click on the assignment right here in classwork. And student 4 turned it in, so you see 1 turned in, 2 assigned, 1 graded. I can just go to view assignment, and student 3 had already turned it in, so I gave that student a 2 out of 8. Let's just say this student I can give him a grade. You can click here to see the assignment from student 4 because he turned it in. So this is what it looks like from the teacher's end with assignments. You could put we'll get into grades and stuff, but you could put a grade here. And you can do that with the rubric. So you would just click on this to see the assignment. You see that they turned it in. Also, if you go back, I just want to show you something here. You can click on people and scroll down to your individual student, So I went to people, clicked on the student, and then you can see, you know, what assignments they've turned in and what they haven't. So this one's turned in. The bio essay they did turned in. The rest is assigned. This one's graded already. So if you click on people, you can, see the work from that way as well. All right, so next up, we're going to go back and we're going to edit in Classwork. So you may have posted an assignment or a quiz or something, and maybe you want to go back and change that. So here I am in my demo class, and I say, anything that I want to go back and change, I can really just use these three little dots. I can go back and I can edit a post in the stream by clicking edit. Okay, but I've covered that already. You can also go to Classwork, and then you can select an assignment here. Let's say cell biology lesson, and if I click these three little dots here, I can edit, click edit, and then I can change things up. I can change the title, biology lesson 1. I can change the description, answer questions in the worksheet as soon. Okay, now this assignment, when you go back and edit, it's a little difficult because each student already got a copy. So I can't really change this, but what I can do is add a new file, or add a new link, or create a new document. I can also go back and change the due dates, change the time, points, and if I want to differentiate for students. And then I would just press save. And now you can even see the titles change, the cell biology lesson 1. Now I'm actually going to add something to this. So I just showed you how to edit in Classwork, but now I'm going to also show you how you can copy a link directly to a post or a Classwork assignment. So let me go back here, and you can actually send a link to a direct post. So you see right here it says please send your field trip forms. If I press these three little dots here, I can press copy link, and now I'm going to take this link, paste it in the search bar, the address bar, and take a look at what it does. It shows you a direct link to that comment. And you can do the same thing with an assignment. So the assignment we just changed was a cell biology lesson 1. Right down here. If I hit these three dots, I can go copy link, and now I'm copying the link to the assignment. I'll go right to the address bar, copy and paste, and here's a direct link to the assignment. So, I see here I have like 40 different tasks, and I know it's evolving and it's changing and things like that, but there's always more little things that I want to show you guys. Alright, so next up is to add comments on assignments, right? So let's say you posted an assignment already. You can actually add like a little comment to it. I want to show you how to do that now. So let's go to our classwork and our assignments. I'm going to click Classwork. Okay. And here are some assignments we have. Math work, quiz, cell bio. Let's go to the mitosis paper. Okay, so I'm clicking that, and then I'm going to go to view assignment. Okay, so I want to So right now I want to add a comment to the assignment. So I'm going to click view assignment, and then you want to go to instructions. So now maybe I posted this assignment, and there's a couple things I want to mention that I didn't mention before, something like this. Use your textbook and go to chapter 7 on mitosis. And then I could just post this by clicking this little arrow here, post. And now it's a part of the assignment. Now when students look, they'll see it right here. So I'll show you at the students end what it looks like. Alright, so here I am as a student now. It says student 4. We'll go to classwork, and I believe it was a mitosis paper. So this is the student's mitosis paper, and you already see here that it says one class comment. So I can click this, and it'll be the little comment I put. Use your textbook and get more information on chapter 7, or they could view the assignment, and they'll see this little comment that I added. And again, you add the comment if because if you go back and edit sometimes, they might not be able to tell what was written. So sometimes it's better just to add a class comment. Adding a class comment, I think it's easier for them to recognize and see. It's easier for the teacher to get their information out there. All right, so next up is to filter and organize topics. Okay, and Classroom does a good job with this. So if I want to filter and organize topics, I'm going to go to Classwork. I've created some topics, and you can see them here. So the topics you create when you create an assignment, whatever topic you create will be here. So I'm going to create a new one real quick to show you here. Let's just do like a fake assignment. We'll call this English, and we won't even add anything here. And you see here where it says topic. So now I'm going to create a new topic, and you can already choose the topics we have, or you can create a new topic. So I'm going to create new topic, and we'll call this English. Let's say 10th grade. Okay, and I'll say we'll just have an assignment, write your own biography. So English biography. So again, all I did was create a topic called English 10. I'm going to assign this. And now take a look, you see it right here, English 10. So these are all the different topics, and the student has the option. This is going to be here for the student as well. I'm going to show you the student side. So if the student were to go to their classwork, just like this, and scroll up, I'll refresh the page because we just added that English. So you see it's got biology, forms, Google Drive, and yeah, English 10 has been added. And so the students can click on one of these topics to get to it. Let's say they click on I don't know, let's go to Google Drive. I'll click on Google Drive, and it takes me right to my Google Drive assignments, as a student. And as a teacher, the same thing here. I click on forms, and it'll take me to the form assignments. You can go to all topics, and then the assignments up here at the top, they haven't been assigned anything. So the assignments that you don't give a topic to, they're just going to be up on the top. But what you could do is actually drag them and put them to a section. So like you see this mitosis paper, that's biology, right? I'm going to take this and drag it, and now take a look. I added it to the biology section. And I can do the same thing with the cell bio. Right, I'm going to take this and drag it and put it here. Okay? And you could actually drag whole sections too. Like I'm going to take this English 10, and I'm just holding it down and just bringing it all the way down to the bottom. Dragging it down, and I'm going to put it here. And now English 10 is below biology. So filtering topics is a good way to be organized. Alright, so the next assignment we're going to do here is create quiz assignments using Google Classroom. Alright, so here I am in the stream, and if I want to create a quiz, I'm just going to go to Classwork. Okay, then I'm going to click Create. And instead of clicking Assignment, I'm going to click Quiz Assignment. And we'll call this, let's say, George Washington quiz. And that'll be the title. Take the quiz and try your best. Open notes. So I've titled it, I've added instructions. This is all the same here that we've covered already, right? You want to have it for one class, more classes. You want to differentiate for students. This is nothing new. Points, due date. This is all the same stuff. Rubric and Originality reports I'll get to later. So you can add a quiz from here, okay, a file, or you can use what they have here is a blank quiz, and so to create it. Let's click on this one here. So I'm clicking on a blank quiz used to create the quiz. And I'm going to do a full training. This will be the next one here on Google Forms and then Google Forms quizzes, because there's a lot to go over. But when you create a Google form, it doesn't always have to be for a quiz. You can create it just for surveys and just for getting information out there and things like that. It doesn't have to be a quiz, but you can. Now, if you go to your settings in Google Forms, okay, for it to be a quiz, you would have to go into the Google form, go to settings, press quizzes, and then click make this a quiz. So they've already selected this for you, okay? And they also have it, restricting, so only users in this G Suite for Education can take the quiz. So then from here you would just create a quiz. Let's say George Washington, who was, you could say, whatever, Martha. So now it says here, all changes saved in Drive. So I've created a question. All these changes are saved in Drive. Maybe I'll add another option. Marie, I don't know. Anyway, all changes are saved in Drive. Let me change this title too. Again, everything's saved. Creating a quiz. I'm going to do a whole video on this. I don't want to waste forever here. This is Google Classroom, but it's just a really short quiz. So I'm going to X out of this now. All right. It says blank quiz is attached, but if you open it up, let's just take a look here. It still says George Washington. Okay. So let's assign it. And you'll see it right at the top, George Washington quiz. And it's called George Washington Forms here. George Washington, it's titled George Washington. Alright, so next up, create questions. Okay, create questions. So let's say you want to just ask a question to the class, just to get a discussion going or something like that. Again, you can post it to the stream, but you can also have it as an assignment. So let's go to Classwork. And then you want to go to create. And it's not gonna be an assignment. It's not gonna be a quiz. It's gonna be a question. And notice they all have different icons. Like the assignment icon and the quiz are different than the question, which is different from material, different from topic, and things like that. So the question is gonna have a little question mark icon. So I'm gonna click question, and you're just gonna type the question here. What is the function of cytoplasm? And it's you can have it as a short answer or a multiple choice. If it's multiple choice, take a look what happens. You can add options to it. However, let's just go with short answer, and it'll go away. Instructions are try and be concise. And then you can add, again, you can add files and YouTube videos to help out. I could add a YouTube video on the cytoplasm. Go to YouTube. Add. You can put it in a topic, bio, due date. And it's pretty easy. Now, this is important down here, I want to say. Can students reply to each other? And can they go back and edit their answers? Because listen, if you allow them to go back and edit their answers, once they see once they see what somebody else replied, they can copy that and then maybe copy it for themselves. So you might not want to click this one here. Students can reply to each other. If you want to get a good discussion going, you might as well leave that there. So you're just asking a question here. So I'm going to show you from the student side what it looks like. So let's go to ask. And right here, sometimes it's good. Students can get to their assignments real quick by upcoming. So they have an upcoming English biography that we added, and here's a question for Tuesday. So instead of them going to classwork, they'll probably just click right here if it's a student. What is the function of cytoplasm? And they're going to type in their answer. So listen, here's the question. What is the function? So here's what it looks like for the student. What is the function of cytoplasm? Here's my little description. Try and be concise. I posted a YouTube video to help them out. You should watch the video here, right? And notice here where it says classmates will see your answer. Okay. Again, if you take a look here, we have that students can reply to each other. So they'll be able to see each other's comments because we're allowing them to reply. So here, this little I is on, right? Because we're allowing students to reply to each other. They're going to see each other's questions. Whatever. So here's the question. The student's going to type in what they see here. Again, they can see others, so we're going to press turn in. Now, once you turn it in, you won't be able to make changes after you submit your answer. That's because, look, we put students, we don't have this checked. If I had this checked, this student wouldn't get this here. That you won't be able, they would be able to, because we would allow them to go back and make edits. So let's click turn in. And now the student can see other classmate answers. Okay, this little see classmate answers here is on because we allow them to reply to each other. Okay, I'm going to create another question here just to show you real quick. So to create a question again, I'm going to go to Classwork real quick. Go to create question. And instead, where it says students can reply, I'm going to take this off. So students can't reply to each other. And this time I'm going to have this thing checked. Students can edit answer. So you can see what it looks like now. So I'm going to ask this question. What does gravity mean? Okay. I'm going to come back and check this out here. And now let's go as the student in the classroom. Okay, this student's going to go to Classwork. They're going to see the new question. They're going to view the question. And here it is, right? What does gravity mean to you? It says answer please. I'll start typing. It means that things fall. And notice you don't have that little I right there. Whereas before you did, because students will be able to see it and reply. So then I'm going to press turn in. So I'm turning in this assignment. However, I've got this little edit button here now because if you take a look here, I've got students can edit the answer. So now they might say to themselves, oh man, that's not a really in-depth answer. Let me go back. It means when things fall. And then they are going to turn it in. However, here, look at this little side note. Your teacher will see your previous answer until you re-submit. So until you turn it in again, the teacher will see the first answer. So let's turn it in again. And now you can even go back and edit and things like that. Alright, so next up we're going to do form integration. Alright, so we're going to integrate forms. So, if I want to import a form, if I want to integrate a form, I can do it as an assignment, and it doesn't have to be a quiz. It could just be like a survey. So here I would say, for example, survey for chess club. And then I would say take the survey. And this isn't necessarily a quiz. This is just a basic form. So I will go to add, and I will go to my Google Drive. And I would look for like surveys. So it's just like a lesson survey, okay? So here I'm integrating a form, but it's not really it's not really a quiz assessment. It's just a form, but it's being integrated into the assignments here. And it doesn't it can be ungraded. Okay? So if you want to just give a survey or something like that, you can do it ungraded. And before I assign it here too, you might want to just if you don't care about if you don't care how many people answer the survey, or you want it to be anonymous, you can use it as a material, and you can add a form from here. Go to Google Drive, and then post your survey as well. Here's your biology survey, and then you won't have any date, or you won't have to worry about making it ungraded and things like that. Alright, so next up is to download the app. Okay, let's download the app for your phone. To get the Classroom app, it's just, this will be real quick. You can do it on the Android, you can do it on the iPhone or the iPad. With the Android, you're going to go to the Play Store, and then just find and install Google Classroom. It's literally just called the Google Classroom app, and then just install it. And it's pretty easy from there. Same thing with the iPhone. It's not the Play Store, it's the App Store. And go to Google Classroom. I mean, you'll have your little classroom, your Google Classroom icon, and it's that easy. And then start using it. Okay, there's other apps you can get as well. Meet, Slides, Docs. You might as well do this too while you're there. Okay, next up, add grade categories. So let's take a look here. So here I am, and let's enter this biology class. It's a new one, right? And if you want to add grade categories, you're gonna go to this little setting icon, the gear icon. Scroll down, and all the way at the bottom, you could see grading. So now it says no overall grade. If your school is using a different type of grading system, and almost all of us are, the Google Classroom grading, I think a small percentages of schools use it. I think most of them have, like we use Genesis, other ones have Ngrade. There's a lot of different grading systems that they use. So you don't have to use Google Classroom for grading, but and if you're not using it, you just put no overall grade. However, if you set this up right, and if you're somebody that's really into Google, and I am obviously, and you're watching this video, you probably are. You can set up grading, right, and you can do it by total points, or you can do it by weighted categories. So total points is just you'll make an assignment and then you just pick the points for it. So maybe one assignment you'll make 10 points, and a more important assignment you'll make 100 points, and a really important project you'll make 200 points. And then it'll just add them up and give you an average. That's one way. Or you could do weighted by category. Okay, so weighted by category is like 20% for quizzes, 30% for homework, things like that. So should you show overall grades to the students? That's up to you, yes or no. I think they should know how they're doing. And then you can add grade categories down here. Okay, and then here you can see the percentage. You can see the for example, what percent, like the weight of it. So, all right, so here we are on grade categories, and they must add up to 100% based on the weight percentage. So maybe we'll do homework will be the first category, and we'll make that 20%, right? And then you have to fill out this remaining. It says 80%. You can't just leave it at 20, so you have to add another category. And then we'll do class participation, and we'll do 10%. Now I've got 70% left, right? So I got to add another category. Let's say quizzes. And we'll make that 20%. Okay, I got to add another category for that 50%. Let's go tests. Okay. And this is how my district does, how they weight their different categories. And before I press save, I want to show you what it looks like beforehand. So here I am in the biology class as a teacher, okay? And I have an assignment that I posted here, Meiosis essay, okay? And let's take a look at this assignment by going to edit. And you'll see here it has points and things like this, and this is before I added a grade category. So now let's go here where I'm adding a grade category, okay, where I did homework 20%, etc. and so forth. I'm going to press save, okay. And now, if you take a look, I'm going to refresh this page here. And now you can see grade category, okay, because we've added the grade category. So let's go to, let's say, class participation. And now it's class participation. Now the points, don't get confused on the points. This class participation is worth 100 points or whatever, but class participation is still worth, if you go back to what I selected, class participation is still worth 10% of your grade. It's just, it'll add up all these class participation assignments, whether they're 100 points or 50 points or whatever, and get an average, and that average will add up to 10% of your final grade. But yeah, you could pick the category now because we've set up grade categories. All right, next up is to give feedback on student work. So let's look at students that have turned in some assignments and how you can give feedback on it. So here I am in my classroom, and I'm going to select a classwork assignment. Let's take a look at this biology essay. Okay, so this is an assignment I did, and we want to give back feedback on the assignment. So I'm going to go to View Assignment, and you can see, student 4 turned in the work. Okay. So we're going to select his because we know he did it, and we're going to give some feedback on it. So, I went to Classwork, I viewed the assignment, and I'm just going to pick, a student's assignment here. Let's go with student 4. And it's going to open it up, and there'll be a couple different ways you can give feedback. So first off, it says here student 4, it says turned in. Okay. And if you click right here, okay. Sorry, if you click right here, you can see these, student 3 turned already gave an assignment. You could just sort of filter here. All right, so here's their assignment. You want to leave feedback. There's a couple different ways you could do it. First off, you could leave a private comment, like you need to write more because the student only wrote, oh, it's harmful, right? So you go, you need to write more. That's one thing you can do. And once it's been posted, it's been, sent to the student. You can write directly. This right here is a Google Doc, and you can make a comment directly on some of the work. So you first have to go here and notice if you take a look at this little icon here, it says we're in suggestion mode, so we can add suggestions to their work. You can actually go in and become an editor and make changes. I mean, you don't want to do that, but you have that option. So it's on suggestions. So I'm going to go here and highlight this little comment that this is all they wrote. And I'm going to click this little plus icon here, and I can add a comment directly on their work, like, this is all you wrote, and then just hit comment. Okay. And then if you go right here, this is what's called the comments bank. I'm gonna click on this, and here you could add more comments. It doesn't have to directly be on their work, like just like a general comment. So you can add multiple comments by starting a new line. But let's just go right here. I need you to put more effort. Okay. And then we're going to go to add. And here's the first comment bank. Okay. And here's what I wrote. Okay. Right. So next is to return work. I'm going to change this to grade and return work. Okay. So it said return. So I'm going to change this to grade and return work. Okay. So let's do that here. So here I am in my Google Classroom, the demo class, and let's say we want to, grade and return work. You'd pick an assignment here, or you could do this one, but we'll do the one we were working on. I think it was bio essay, right? So I want to grade and return some work. So I'm going to view assignment. I pick the assignment. I pick view assignment. Remember, you could also do it by people. Okay. You could take a look at grades here for the whole grade book. So to grade this assignment, I can go to view assignment. I can go to people as well, and I could click on a student. Let's say student 4, and then I can individually pick on one of their assignments that they owe me, that's been assigned to them. If you click to do as a teacher, you can see what has been turned in, what has been assigned, what has been graded. To get to do, like I said, when it wasn't clear, you're going to hit these 3 little dots here, and you can always get to the to do to see what you need to grade and things like that. This comes in handy a lot. I think the one that we were working with was the bio essay. So you can just click on this here. You can click on the turned in, the assigned, the graded. Let's go to the turned in one. So I'm clicking here, and I pressed turned in, and it had the student 4 turned in. If I go back again, let's say I go to graded, it'll give me student 3, the one that was graded already. Student 3 got a 2 out of 8. So when it comes to grading, I would use this to do, and we want to return work. So let's return work, right? So we're going to go here. Student 4 turned it in, and we want to return it to them. So I'm going to click on the assignment. So what we have to do now is add a grade to it and then return it. And one of the interesting things here is that I created a rubric. And I'm going to show you how to do that pretty soon. Okay, so it's out of 8 points. And if you want to see the rubric here, I can open it up and I'll show you how to create this later. This is some of my work from before, and you can pick how many points. So you can read it and say, is this distinguished, proficient? Obviously, it's unsatisfactory. It'd be 1 point. And then I can go to appearance, let's just say, and I would say unsatisfactory again. And now you see the grade is in for me already. So I'm just using the rubric here. If a rubric's not created, you know, you would just enter the grade yourself. So you might just enter something like a 1 out of 8 if there's no rubric. And then once you have this grade in here, you're just going to go to return. Okay, so it says not returned. Okay, I have a grade here, 1 of 8, but it's not returned. So I'm just going to go and press return. And it says the student will be notified that they got a 1 out of 8. So let's click on return. Okay, and that's what they get. Okay, they get a 1 out of 8. All right, so next up is using rubrics. Okay, so we're going to focus on learning how to use rubrics in Google Classroom. So I'm going to go to my biology class, and I'm going to choose an assignment. All right, so here we are in a on our classwork page, and we're going to create an assignment, and let's call it create a poster presentation of the solar system. So that's going to be our topic here. And if you're not given a quiz or anything like that, you're going to need to use a rubric, right? So if you're giving an essay, you're going to use a rubric to grade an essay. You're going to use a rubric to grade a poster presentation or a project most of the time. So create a poster presentation of the solar system here. You would add, your resources, and so don't worry about. And now, if you want to create a rubric after you created your assignment, you're going to go right down here and you're going to go to rubric. Okay, so I'm clicking on this plus with the word rubric, and now I can reuse a rubric that I already have. I can use Google Sheets to import a rubric, or I could create my own rubric. So first I'll create my own, then I'll show you how to reuse. So to create a rubric, I'm just going to click create rubric. Okay, and when starting this here, starting from scratch, it's best to have like a template. So here's a template I already have. It's a copy of a poster rubric that I have. Okay, so here it is. It's like called math work, presentation, things like that. So it's got like different levels and things. So let's get to work on it. So what they give you here. So take a look. So this is the title of our poster. It says Solar System Poster Presentation. And if you look at the rubric I have here, it says a poster presentation. This is just a generic one. So this is like the title. Next up, if you look, it says criterion title. The criterion title is going to be similar to something like this: math work, appearance, presentation, how the students present, work ethic. So I'll start here and I'll do let's do work ethic. Okay, so I'm just going to take this here and I'm going to copy it. So this is like how did the students work and collaborate. So let's just copy. I'm pressing Ctrl C, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to make the title work ethic. And then what does work ethic mean really? Well, it means in their assignments. And then you're going to do the point values. It says descending, right? So we'll start here with 4, kind of like I have here. It's like a total of 16, and 4 would be like distinguished, 3 is proficient, 2 is basic, 1 is unsatisfactory. So I'm just going to copy what it says here. Students participated to the fullest extent and was on task. So I'm going to press Ctrl C and copy, and that'll be the description. And the level title would be, let's see what it said again. distinguished, which is like the best. I'm going to go with distinguished. And then I have 4 points will be the highest. It's distinguished. Students participated. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here, and I'm going to add another one. Okay, this one will be 3 points. And what's the level of this one? That will be proficient. I'm just going to copy. Ctrl C. I'm going to put this as the description. Students participated most of the assignment, so not perfect. And I'll put proficient. Now I'm going to add the next one. Okay. Fix that here. Okay. So this is one criteria. Okay, is work ethic. This is the first criteria. This is the description of the criteria. They get 4 points. Distinguished if they did, really good. 3, 2, 1. So this took a lot of time here. So this is I want to show you a great shortcut here, right? Because they're almost they're still going to be 4. You're still going to use 4 points distinguished. So what you can do here, which is a great shortcut, is I'm going to click these little 3 dots and I'm going to put duplicate criteria and click that here. And now it's almost the same. I can reuse that as like a shortcut here. Now this might not be work ethic. Let's make it something else. Let's make it present appearance. So I'll copy appearance, Control C, and it won't be work ethic. It'll be appearance, and then I can change the description a little bit and say how neat. Again, copy. And now I have a second criteria. If you take a look, right, appearance is the second one. If you want to do more, and you probably should, I would recommend again, duplicate the criteria. Okay, and you can move this one down or up. If I want to put work ethic to the bottom, I can move it down. Press that. And now you see appearances at the top, and then work ethic. So after you've created this here, notice it's 8 points. We have a maximum of 4 points here, and 4 points down here. Again, we're using it for scoring. It's in descending order, and we're just going to press save. Press save. And then here's my rubric. It's been added. Okay. So let's assign this, and let's see what it looks like to the students. Okay, so I'm going to press assign. And now I'm going to log in as the student. So now here we are as the student. And it says a new assignment has been posted. It posts a presentation. And when they view their work, here's the rubric right here. So they can click this little thing to expand the criteria, and they can see here is a appearance, how neat the poster is, and they can see the different point values, and they can open this up and see it here and here. And if you want to see it from your side again, you can go to Classwork. Here it is, and then you'll see this little thing attached to your assignment. I'm going to open it up for you to take a look, and you can see how neat it is here. Okay, solar system, here's your rubric. Now, so that's what it looks like when you open it up, but you could also use the rubric to grade. So I'm going to go to view assignment here, and student has turned it in, student 4. So I'm going to open up their assignment, and I'm going to use the rubric to grade this thing. And I've shown you before here, but here it says rubric. You're going to pick 4, and let's just say 3. So the rubric says 7 out of 8. Notice I have 100 here. I'm going to change the total points, and I forgot to say this earlier. the total point should always match the rubric. So I'm going to change this to 8. And then you can return the work. Return. So let me just go back to instructions real quick. Just wanted to edit this and say one more time. It's important that, if you use a rubric, to match the points to whatever the points in the rubric are. So I have 100 here. This should be 8. So now you have 8 and 8, and they match up. So I'm going to click save. Now, originality reports are going to check students' work to see if they actually, if they've plagiarized any work, and it'll give you a percentage of how much of the work they've copied from another piece of work. So let's create an assignment. We're not going to worry about all this stuff here, but if you want to find originality reports, you're going to go right down here, and you're going to click originality reports. Now, first, I want to press learn. Learn more. I'll tell you a lot of details about it. I'll try to give you a summarized version. So I'm going to press this first, and you see what happens here. As soon as you press it, it's gonna give you the heads up that you can only enable originality reports on 3 assignments per class. So it's not unlimited. So whatever class you have, like this is the bio class, I can only do it on 3 assignments. Okay, 3 specific assignments. So you can't do it all the time. I think that's gonna change. Google's always changing Affixes stuff, so that'll probably change in like a year, and they'll say, hey, you have unlimited, and everybody will be all excited. So it just gives you the heads up. I'm gonna press continue. Okay. And now I'm going to assign this. And I want you to see what it looks like from the student. Okay. It said this assignment won't be included. And I want you to see what the student sees with originality report. So now I'm going to go to the student. Okay, I'm in under the student. Go back to the classroom. Okay, and here's this Meiosis essay that I just posted. So now I'm the student. I'm going to open up the assignment and take a look here what the student sees. It says originality reports available. So the student knows that it's going to check for copying work. And also you'll see the student's able to, check their own work, and I'll get to that in a second here. So the student knows originality reports are available. So let's say it says describe Meiosis in your own words. So you expect the student to do this in their own words. I'm going to click create a doc, and what I'm going to do is copy something. So now let's say the student just copies and pastes their work, right? So here I'm on just a web page. I just typed in Meiosis. I'm going to press Ctrl C to copy. And then copy this. Okay, so the student has copied work directly from the internet. I'm going to close this up. Okay, so now the student has created a document, copied a lot of stuff, and the student's about to turn it in. However, before the student turns it in, you see right here where it says originality reports, and it has the word run. So the student themselves can check, they can run their own originality report to see what they copied and to see what it's going to look like for the teacher. So the student just has to press run here. And it says report show matches between the text, right? So there you go. Let's run it. And take a look. Running 88%. Okay. So now it's done. It takes about a minute. So all right. So the student was about to turn it in. It said originality reports. They hit run. Now it takes a little second for it to run the report, and we're going to hit view. The student should hit view. I mean, you may want to teach this to your students too. So again, this is student 4. And look, the student sees what's been flagged. There's 2 web matches, one from Cliff Notes and one from Facebook. you know, what percentage is copied here, right? So this. All right, so you know, with Guardian Summaries, I just want to go over these quick questions here, right? So can you add a Guardian with a class code? No, you have to add them through an email. Okay, so it has to be through an email invitation. Can Guardians view the class stream in the student work? No, when you invite Guardians, they can't see the class stream. No, Classwork, they can't see people, they can't see the grade pages and things like that. Does the same Guardian have to be invited to every class? No, when a Guardian accepts an invitation for one class, they'll link to their students in all classes. So that's something for the domain administrators. So you're going to say to yourself, how come I don't have this is as a teacher, how come I don't have the option to invite Guardians? Your administrator has not verified you as a teacher. Okay, so you know, verified teachers can set permissions. A lot of administrators don't do this anyway, so don't worry if you don't have that. You might not have permission to invite Guardians. It might be the administrator that chooses who to allow. Your school administrator, a lot of them turn off Guardian email summaries. I think that's I don't know if it's a good idea, but you know, it all depends on the school. Can the school or district add Guardians in bulk? Yes, they can. And what if I don't want my class to be included in Guardian email summaries? Well, by default, Guardian email summaries are turned off for your class. Okay, by default, they're off. So if you turn on summaries, you can then turn them off at any time. Okay. So, all right, I want to go back real quick and just you know, we're pretty much done here, but I've changed a little bit from the beginning. All right, so listen, this is a long, you know, this is a lot of work here, but if you stay through this whole thing, you should be like a Google Classroom master. You should be able, you should know everything there is really. The only thing maybe I didn't go into detail was maybe with Gradebook was rushed a little bit, and Guardian Summaries, but pretty much everything else here, you know, you should be pretty well prepared for the upcoming school year. And I want to thank you for spending time with me and staying here and going through this long training. Um, you know, with what's going on in the world with the whole virtual teaching and you know, all this virus stuff, it's important to know this is probably of all the Google tools, this is definitely the most important one, Google Classroom, and it's the most complex and has the most different, you know, has different things and things like that. So I want to say thank you. I didn't ask you to subscribe. I want to say, you know, please subscribe to this channel. Check the description link. Okay, I have I'm posting it should be a link down there too. It's a Google Classroom preparation packet for students, like a slides presentation. I'm going to try to get it posted underneath as soon as I can. And then, you know, it'll help the students learn how to use Google Classroom for the ones that don't. And it's a little bit more for the younger students. All right, thank you.